We will call the meeting to order, and Dan, if you can just note the roll, we'll move on to item 3, which is the approval of minutes from the September 4th meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
A second?
I'll second.
Any corrections? See none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Right, minutes have been approved. Appearances, Jim, I assume you're here for the CSM, right? You're on mute, but I think I did some good lip reading. So we'll close the appearance section. There is no unfinished business. We'll go on to item 6A, which is the discussion and consideration of the residential CSM for 5405 and 5407 Taniwata Trail. And Doug Plowman, if you can kind of get us started on this one.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. The request this evening is for a certified survey map to combine the lots at 5405, 5407 Taniwata Trail. The applicant would like to combine the lots in order to be able to demolish the existing structure and construct a new single-family home there. The lots themselves have not been subdivided previously, and I believe of lots 5 and 6 of the original Monona Ridge plat. In terms of dimensions of the lot, it would be just over or 18,500 square feet. There would be 100 feet of frontage on Taniwata. One thing of note, sort of based on the city's land division ordinance, is the street that this fronts would be narrower, of course, than typical standards, but it is an existing condition, and typically the Plan Commission has been quite comfortable with that. Of course, Taniwata Trail, it was 20 feet wide when it was platted. So we have been in discussions. You may notice there's a boathouse sort of in the northwest corner. We have had discussions with the applicant about that in terms of the what would need to be done in order for that to be an accessory structure on the lot as it was previously inhabited kind of prior to this. So working on with them on that, and certainly would recommend that through Plan Commission. But this evening looking for a recommendation from the Public Works Committee, and we're joined this evening by Jim Lampe, who is the applicant's builder as well.
And Jim, do you have anything to add?
No, I think Doug summed it up well.
Okay, perfect. Any questions from the group?
A quick question on the boathouse. Is that, so this is sort of an aside, but a former neighbor of mine actually used to live in that, rented it out. And at the time told me that that was one of the original Monona cottages way back when Monona was a place where vacationers went. Is that still the case? Is that true? It's one of the last few that's right on the water. That's a dwelling.
Yeah, so I'm not too sure of the specific history. I don't know if Jim has any more detail. My understanding was that there may have previously been a house on lot 6, sort of closer to the street that was subsequently demolished. The concern from kind of a planning perspective is that with that being a residence, that if we were to combine this, we would effectively have two residences on a single family lot. So that was the reason for this. And so there have kind of been discussions about how this can be remedied in a way that this kind of retains its boathouse use, but is also not going to be sort of rented for residents specifically. But I don't know sort of the history, if it is specifically one of the cottages or not.
Jim, do you know anything about the history of it?
No, I don't know the background of it, although now I'm very curious. So I think I've got something to do tonight while I'm watching TV. Somebody had been renting it until the end of June. And it looks like an apartment. It looks kind of like an apartment you might have downtown Madison in an older house. So it wasn't fancy, but it was certainly functional. And through Doug and attorney Bill Cole, we discussed a number of steps that make it so it wouldn't be habitable, like removing any source of heat or opportunity for heat, getting rid of the gas, dumbing down the electricity so somebody couldn't put a 220 heater in, and then making the building weatherproof. It's in pretty good shape, but there's the doors for the boathouse are blown apart from waves probably 10 years ago. So we talked about making the boathouse secure and not something that would fall down, but it's in really good shape now. inside and out. We discussed making it not habitable. But, you know, which is basically a building code standard.
All right. Any other questions from the group?
Oh, I have one final question. It's more curiosity than anything, but because it does overlap with the adjacent parcel, is there any concern for easement, or does an easement exist already?
Given that it's existing in nature, it's one of those that typically we would expect that to be remedied were it to be reconstructed or anything like that. But I'm not aware. Typically, we would expect the easement to be shown on here if one did exist. But we do see these more often with fences and things like that. It's sort of it may have been an error when this was constructed, especially owing to the age of the boathouse specifically, and kind of the accuracy now of surveying versus maybe what it was previously. But it's not something that we would sort of specifically require. But it is something that, you know, were it to be remedied, were it to be rebuilt, absolutely it would need to come into current zoning setbacks and standards for that, which would of course be completely within the law.
Yeah, I think that was so for Jim. Hey, Jim, you're aware that there's a sanitary sewer in the back, right?
Yes, I did another house at 5501 Tonya Watha a couple of years ago. So 5 houses, 8 houses down, and we know about that. We've uncovered the manhole. So we're well aware of that.
Okay,
That's usually the only thing, I mean, that's the only thing that this group is usually interested in is what's underground and what's coming off the main road, but the main road already exists, so there's nothing to worry about here. Just need a motion for approval then. A second.
No, sir.
All right, any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? All right. You're good through here. I don't know what
Okay.
the next step is, but I'm sure Doug can help you out.
He has already. We have it all laid out.
Awesome,
We're
awesome.
gonna see Patrick on Monday.
Okay, perfect. And Doug,
Thank you for your time.
good to
Thank you
see
all.
you. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Doug.
All right,
Thank you.
see you guys. All right, we can move on to 6B, which is discussion and consideration of the approval of the order and purchase the replacement bucket truck. Finally,
yes. Okay, I am seeking Public Works Committee a recommendation for approval to City Council to proceed with placing the order for this truck. We did cover it in our August capital budget meeting. It did work its way through the process and City Council did approve it in the 2025 capital budget. I'd like to get the order in now, just because it takes forever to get these vehicles nowadays. So the sooner we get our order in, the higher up in the queue that we will be. So this price does fall within what was approved in the capital budget. There actually has been no changes since I presented it. The capital budget includes $224,605 for this, and this truck will cost $218,786. And that's with the electric PTO. City Council did approve it with that electric PTO, so that's a good thing. So if there's any questions you have, more than happy to answer them.
This is already approved by council.
Yes.
Part of the capital.
Yep. So the process is, once it's in the capital budget, we still have to come back for approval to order it. If it's over a certain dollar figure, so.
I saw in the detail that budget was issued in 10/23, but I didn't see it's like a 30-day to get at that same price. So I guess that's why it has to go through council to get approved, yeah, because if you put the order in now, but let's say it doesn't actually come for a year now, does that price increase?
Oh, no, once we lock this in, as soon as council approves it, they send a sheet for signature. That price is locked in then. When they give us these prices, we just received this one, the update 2 weeks ago, I think it was. But they know we're taking it through the approval process now, so they have in essence locked in this price. So they for this truck, they can't raise it after that, so.
It seems like the supply chain is kind of stabilized where there's not danger of it just being canceled.
Right.
Middle of the year.
Yeah, we went through that a few years ago with one of our trucks. Yeah.
Yeah, we were having 2 years ago, just like an awful time getting the any vehicle.
Right.
You order one and then
Sorry.
they promise it, but then you never got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
The dual axle plow truck that this committee approved in August of 22. We are still waiting on. So we haven't received that truck yet. But we were made aware that it is now in production, so we should have it in 2025. You know,
It's
almost 3 years
Yeah.
later.
It's,
Jeez.
it's tough to like even rack your brain around it. And it screws everything up from a budgeting standpoint, because then staff start thinking, well, we gotta like now buy something now for 3 years from now, and it's like, whoa, hang on, like. That's really tough to do, which I think is gonna be all the more important reason of why we're sitting here going, wait a minute, why are we approving to pay for this thing when we already approved to buy it? Because there's gonna be approvals to buy things and so much time's gonna elapse coming up that we might change our mind. Like Dan might come in and say, actually, you know what, we originally thought this, but life has changed and we found a used one.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you
once we
go.
place the order though, we're kind of.
Yeah, that's where,
Yeah.
that's where it's nice to come back, because
Yeah,
it gives staff an opportunity of like, well, here's this one, but we actually
Yeah.
found something else that will meet our needs.
yeah. But we do have a lot of big equipment coming our way here in the next few years, so.
What's gonna happen with the old?
The old one will go to auction. The old bucket truck, whoever is gonna buy it. You know, they buy it as is, but they're gonna be buying a project. So, yeah,
And one that's good for us to get up on.
yeah, it's been costing a lot of maintenance the past few years, so.
Sometimes it comes up, what happens in the funds that we receive, those funds go back in, and then usually just reduce our capital bond.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
random people will ask you these questions, so. Giving you the information, so it doesn't go sit in the slush fund, it really just helps reduce down the additional bonding, so. In case somebody asks you. All right, any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
I think we need motions.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
sorry.
move. I'll second.
Take a bit. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, go buy a truck.
Thank you.
And any highlights from the report? I see Brad's been here 9 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that count as internship time?
It's been in full-time capacity for 9 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah. And how long was he in that internship for?
I think he was in the internship role for like a half year, but then he was in like a part-time
Yeah.
status. For about a year, maybe.
A year,
and a
maybe
half.
two,
Yeah. But he, I mean. You all know Brad, right? He's a unique character and his enthusiasm.
Yeah,
We love him on the team, you know, he brings sunshine to the group, so. Yeah, he's a good one.
Yeah, his email about fall like, a few weeks ago, you know, and it's really peppy. He was ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yep.
Yeah, he throughout the day, he does funny stuff and he just brings everybody up. And plus he's, you know, he's done all this training for stormwater and erosion control. He's gone all the classes, he's certified. He knows GIS, he's our GIS person. We've got him trained to do capital project observation, management. So he wears like 5 different hats for us.
he's really grown, because when he
Yeah.
first came on, he was just doing mapping.
GIS.
And that's it.
Yeah. So he had an interest in all this other stuff and we needed it, so we got him trained up and.
Yeah.
He's done really good, so.
Yeah.
As far as the operations report, the only thing to really update or add is, you know, the lift station project continues and they're on schedule. They're projecting to be done by June 1st of next year. They're working at Midmore now, we're currently bypassing. Once they're done, I think we have another week of bypass pumping there. We're switching over to the Winnequa Road. The forest meetings are done, so I think they're in the process of demolition anymore right now, taking down the structure. And then they move over to Rick Road, and then Mary gets to deal with all the commotion.
Across the street.
Yeah, it's not like downtown where they've been putting in the pilots and it's all day long.
Boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, who lives in that apartment right next
Yeah.
door? I'm like, they had to move the people out because I'm blocks away and I'm like,
You can,
I have to leave work because I'm like, this is nuts.
Yeah.
So I can't.
Good
manage.
reason.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't handle it. Gotta have it, gotta go. Yeah, yeah.
So other than that, you know, it's, we're slow right now as far as projects, but, now that the capital budget's approved, we're starting to ramp up. For next year, so that's the thing.
How about the project down at the old Monona Gardens?
Well, Lisa,
So I see they're finally,
yeah, I think they're finally moving forward. I think they,
anything dovetailing because it looks like they're starting to venture into the street.
yep, they're all set with their permits. They had to get a county permit because it's,
County
Broadway's
highway.
County Highway. They had to get a Monona one. They will be, doing work. They have to get it done pretty darn quick with, work in the street because the asphalt plants close, right around deer hunting time, you know, Thanksgiving time. But we will have some work next year when they get further along. Part of their project is they're doing a bump in for some parking. And we've committed to resurfacing the road and doing pavement marking as part of their developers agreement. But they have a new contractor. And I think the project was delayed at the state. They had approval up to a certain point, and that's where it's at forever. And then they had to wait on permits from the state, and I think they got them now. And then they also have a new contractor, so you should start seeing some action over there.
And we made an extension at City Council.
Yeah.
The good thing is you're actually gonna see some movement on that project.
Yeah.
Old Monona Gardens, Broadway and Bridge.
Yeah, kitty corner from the bank.
We're all elevators.
Yeah, I've been,
Yeah.
I've been just sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And I would always see like one truck sitting there, I'm like, are they paying that guy just to sit there all day? Like,
They were going quickly up until a point.
yeah,
Mhm.
and so
The slogan is different. We do weird well.
I
Yeah.
have no
We
idea.
do weird what? Well.
That's the slogan, yeah, it's.
Oh,
For this new
I didn't see that.
GC, like which makes sense with the developer. He's kind of a character. Chris Gosh, he's
Just as long as they get going and
yeah,
get it built.
Yeah. it's important that
Yeah.
they finish that project.
Yeah.
We need it to happen. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring something up real quick. I heard you mention a couple times that Ion Water. And
Yes.
when I tried to sign up, it doesn't recognize my account. And so contacted, I went to the Monona website, followed to see if there's got a contact for text number. 3 times I heard nothing, so a few bucks.
To the city's website?
It was, well, that's how I followed the link to get to Ion Water.
Yep.
But I think it's actually Badger Meter. if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
Runs it.
Yep.
So you go to their support, it's just a form. Just make your case, hit send, and that's the last year.
And then,
And then you don't hear
And I
it.
don't hear anything, yeah.
and it doesn't recognize your account number?
No, there's only one account number on our utilities bill. So it's not like there's multiple
Yeah.
numbers to choose from. Anyway, I know that
They
you
called out.
were lauding it and I wanted to give it a try.
Yep.
and
I'll follow up tomorrow and see what we can do to help you out.
It's pretty slick when it works. I mean,
This is the
as
first.
soon as you
I've
get
heard-
set up,
Yeah,
it's pretty golden.
yeah. Works really nice. So I'll follow up on that tomorrow, Bill, and be in touch through.
Yeah, well, it's fine, I mean, it's not like, it'd be neat for me to check it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
I'm just worried, there's other people who might want it and they're running into the same problem and saying, just giving up on it.
Yeah, sure. So we'll make sure that that's working out well. Any other questions? All right, next meeting is December 4th.
and we will be having one, and I think there's about 5 items on that, and it's all Brad. So, stormwater ordinance updates,
Oh,
I think,
must be new state guidelines.
what is, we've been doing, they have the planning grant for the stormwater. So I believe Verbecker gonna be here giving an update on that. The update on the ordinance changes for the stormwater ordinance. There's, the LED streetlight bid, is will come through here for approval. That has to go to council. We're receiving federal funding for purchasing those. There's like 2 more. I can't remember what all has on it. So I think we should still be done in about an hour. So
I know I can't be that long.
I think so.
Yeah. Band concert.
Yeah. What
And
day
my
is it?
kids rank higher.
It's December
Always.
4th.
Fourth.
Okay.
I'll still send you
So
the
packet.
packet.
Yeah.
All right, we just need a motion for adjournment.
Motion for adjournment.
A second.
I'll say.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, all right. Thanks, everybody. Nice short meeting.
Yeah.
That's why we like them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Under a half an hour is actually, especially when it's dark out. It's 4:30, I wanted.